I'm being joined by Neeraj Shah, um, the markets editor at NDTV Profit, for a conversation on this. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us. Let me start with getting your first reading into what has happened, and especially we're exploring this from the angle of how this could have been one of the biggest steps that America has taken in terms of, a goal inclined towards itself. How do you read this?
Yeah, Malika, you said it right. And substantial new costs for major tech employers, right? Not just the Indian outsourcing companies, but Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Meta. But yes, it is a fact that the top 20 companies relying on H1-B visas include a fair degree of Indian companies. So in some sense, the visa costs for each of these IT consulting stocks will go up. In fact, Accenture, Cognizant, etc., hit session lows in Friday on the news of this visa fee. The in-fee ADR was trading about 4.5% lower. There is an issue out here for sure. In fact, a lot of people believe that these changes, including the 1,100,000 fee, would effectively kill the H-1B visa program. Now, in stereotypical sense, or rather from a non-business sense, it amounts possibly to a plan for an age of immigration to America wherein those with resources to invest are welcome, those with fat wallets are welcome, but those which are potentially or perceptively replacing American jobs are not. The question only is on this show is what is the impact that we likely see on a range of businesses that possibly depend on the H-1B visa program? And are there leeways out there? Because Malika, I was reading some of the stuff that came out, right, on global websites, and there is apparently a scenario, or the Trump's proclamation does anticipate a scenario whereby it can work around the new costs if they become a major burden, part one, allowing for a case-by-case exemption if it is in technically national interest. So that provision, well, does it open a potential window for certain companies or industries to seek an exception to the new fee is the key question, Malika. But I'm guessing we'll have guests on the show who will be better placed to answer all of those questions.
Neeraj, definitely. We will have a whole host of experts who are going to weigh in their opinions and their readings into what has happened. But I'd also like to ask you one thing that I'm really curious about. This magnanimous hike of the H-1B visa. Before, it was earlier about, it used to range between $1,700 and $4,500. Now it's about 100,000. Now it's not just about whether or not American talent can be replaced by global talent in that country, but it's also about whether companies, tech giants, no matter how much they earn, will they be able to afford this replacement, and that too at in a given set of time. What do you think about the impact on that front? Yes, global talent would take a hit because it's like a wall for the brains that America has put forth. But can companies really afford to do this?
No, the answer is a no, Malika. The answer is an unequivocal no. But I just state this scenario back, and here I'm talking purely from a perspective of the Indian IT consulting firms, right? I think some inklings, not of this nature, but some inklings of how US talent might be perceivably getting hit have been on for a while, and which is why I think localization has been the buzzword when it comes to Indian companies as well for quite a while now. It's not just the last 12 months or 18 months. We've heard of this now happening in a big way over the course of the last maybe 6, 7, or maybe last 10 years. And which is, I was reading a note which said that, I mean, if their analysis seems that a large portion of Indian IT service companies, not all maybe, but a large portion, have a fairly high degree of localization of on-site employees, 65 to 70% of on-site employees. Now, I think what it could do, and we'll have Rahul Jain to talk about this in detail very soon. I think what this might end up doing is that for the key critical jobs and the current existing on-site employee jobs, they stay as is. For the key critical jobs, there might be a higher fee paid to an American worker. For all you know, some bit of reshoring or offshoring might again start. That is something that some other notes have also pointed out too as well. It could also lead to, in another way, getting Indian workers back to India, something that Amitabh Kant has posted. So all of these factors come into play.